air-transmitted diseases. The closer we are to the infected person, the easier to catch air-transmitted diseases. However, in closed areas, the droplet nuclei recirculate and pose a risk to everybody. Overcrowded and poorly ventilated housing is therefore a major factor in the spread of airborne diseases. Water transmitted diseases. Diseases can also be spread through water. This occurs if the excreta from someone suffering from an infectious gut disease such as cholera get mixed with the drinking water used by people living nearby. Cholera causing microbes will enter new hosts through the water they drink and cause disease in them. Such diseases are much more likely to spread in the absence of safe supplies of drinking water. Let's see the table containing different infections caused by different pathogens here. The sexual act is one of the closest physical contacts two people can have with each other. Not surprisingly, there are microbial diseases such as syphilis or AIDS that are transmitted by sexual contact from one partner to another. However, such sexually transmitted diseases are not spread by casual physical contact. Casual physical contacts include handshakes and sports like wrestling or any of the other ways in which we touch each other socially. Other than sexual contact, the AIDS virus can also spread through blood-to-blood contact with infected people or from an infected mother to her baby during pregnancy or through breastfeeding. Nowadays, medicines are available to prevent the transmission of HIV from affected mother to baby. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This disease is caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. In this disease, victims suffer from various diseases due to the progressive weakening of natural immunity. Diagnosis of AIDS cannot be confirmed without tests in medical laboratories. ELISA test is used for its proper diagnosis. Symptoms of AIDS are person specific. Vector transmitted diseases. We live in an environment that is full of many other creatures apart from us. Many diseases will inevitably be transmitted by other animals. These animals carry the infecting agents from a sick person to another potential host. These animals are thus the intermediaries and are called vectors. The commonest vectors we all know are mosquitoes. In many species of mosquitoes, the females need highly nutritious food in the form of blood to be able to lay mature eggs. Mosquitoes feed on many warm-blooded animals, including us. In this way, they can transfer diseases from person to person. Some important diseases of the present day. Dengue. Mosquitoes lay their eggs in waterlogged places and thereby their population increases. Different species of mosquitoes spreads different diseases. Dengue is spread by Aedes aegypti. This disease is caused by the DEN1-4 virus belonging to the type flavivirus. Symptoms: acute fever and headache, vomiting. Pains in eye socket is very prominent symptom. Decrease in platelet count that may lead to the internal hemorrhage. Malaria is spread by female Anopheles, while elephantiasis is by female Culex. Anopheles and Aedes grow in clean water, while Culex in dirty, sewage water. Swine flu. Reasons for infection Infection for swine flu occurs through pigs and humans. Viruses of swine flu are spread through secretion of nose, throat and saliva. Symptoms of swine flu: difficulty in breathing, sore throat, body pains. Rabies. This is a viral disease. It occurs due to the bite of the infected dog, rabbit, monkey, cat, etc. The virus enters the brain via neurons. Hydrophobia is one of the important symptoms of this disease. In this case, the victim shows extreme fear of water. Rabies is a fatal disease. However, fatality can be prevented by timely vaccination before the onset of symptoms. Symptoms start to appear within 90 to 175 days of the dog bite. Symptoms of rabies: fever for 2 to 12 weeks, exaggerations in behavior, hydrophobia, organ-specific and tissue-specific manifestations. The disease-causing microbes enter the body through these different means. Where do they go then? The body is very large when compared to the microbes. So, there are many possible places, organs or tissues where they could go. Do all microbes go to the same tissue or organ, or do they go to different ones? Different species of microbes seem to have evolved to home in on different parts of the body. In part, this selection is connected to their point of entry. If they enter from the air via the nose, they are likely to go to the lungs. This is seen in the bacteria causing tuberculosis. If they enter through the mouth, they can stay in the gut lining like typhoid causing bacteria. Or they can go to the liver like the viruses that cause jaundice. An infection like HIV that comes into the body via sexual organs will spread to lymph nodes all over the body. Malaria causing microbes entering through a mosquito bite will go to the liver and then to the red blood cells. The virus causing Japanese encephalitis or brain fever will similarly enter through a mosquito bite. But it goes on to infect the brain. The signs and symptoms of a disease will thus depend on the tissue or organ which the microbe targets. If the lungs are the targets, then symptoms will be cough and breathlessness. If the liver is targeted, there will be jaundice. If the brain is the target, we will observe headaches, vomiting, fits, or unconsciousness. We can imagine what the symptoms and signs of infection will be if we know what the target tissue or organ is and the functions that carried out by this tissue or organ. In addition to these tissue specific effects of infectious disease, there will be another common effects too. Most of these common effects depend on the fact that the body's immune system is activated in response to infection. An active immune system recruits many cells to the affected tissue to kill off the disease-causing microbes. This recruitment process is called inflammation. As a part of this process, there are local effects such as swelling and pain, and general effects such as fever. In some cases, the tissue specificity of the infection leads to very general seeming effects. For example, in an HIV infection, the virus goes to the immune system and damages its function. Thus, many of the effects of HIV/AIDS are because the body can no longer fight with many infections that we face every day. Instead, even a common cold can become pneumonia. Similarly, a minor gut infection can produce major diarrhea with blood loss. Ultimately, it is these other infections that kill people suffering from HIV/AIDS. It is also important to remember that the severity of disease manifestations depends on the number of microbes in the body. If the number of microbes is very small, the disease manifestations may be minor or unnoticed. But if the number of the same microbe is large, the disease can be severe enough to be life-threatening. The immune system is a major factor that determines the number of microbes surviving in the body.